What's up, everybody? Dave here. I want to show you this Etsy ad in a student store of mine that did $41,000 in the course of a year, give or take. And I want to show you the things that were profitable with it, the things that made it successful. So definitely watch the entire thing. We're going to jump into my computer here. If you want to get help specifically with this kind of stuff, definitely book a free call or grab the free Etsy ad cheat sheet in my description below. So here is the ads stats right here. Revenue $41,000, spent $12,000. So we're looking at around a 3 to 4 ROAS, which is great. You can get higher than that, absolutely. But the thing about this one is that it consistently profited for the seller, for my student. And if you're sitting at a 2 ROAS, let me say this, you better have a very great profit margin. Typically speaking, when you look at your dashboard, a 2 ROAS is close, very close to breaking even. Unless you're digital and there's no material costs whatsoever, that's a different story. But with print on demand, 2 is very close, dangerously close to breaking even. So you want to be far above a 2, because when you look at that, ROAS in the Etsy ad dashboard is only showing you your spend and your revenue. So if you're looking at that thinking you're profiting, you're not, because you have the material costs, the fees, and the shipping in there. They're just showing you the ROAS based off the spend and the revenue. So I just wanted to mention that quickly. So let's just jump into the lesson here. So the Etsy ads were on, and this listing specifically did in the same time period. We're looking at the Etsy ad stats, by the way, only. In the same time period, overall, everything with organic, it did $70,000 in this time period. So that's really great. But the majority was from Etsy ads. And you'll never get a listing like this if you're not trying with Etsy ads. If you're not adding every single listing to your Etsy ads, you don't know what's going to work, what's not going to work. Furthermore, you're not going to get this kind of listing if you're keeping all your ads on and letting some of them waste your money. So you have to be very careful with that. And I cover that in my courses, and I'll help you with that specifically if you'd like hands-on help. But yes, Etsy ads were on and they worked the whole time. The ad was profitable from the beginning. And this is only achievable through a few things, keep in mind, because not every listing you post is going to do this. You have to make a few duplicates per product to make this happen. Why? Because seriously, listen, not every Etsy listing is going to become a winning ad. A lot of them are going to fall flat on their face, not spend anything, or spend too much. It's just how it is. Even if Josh Silverman, the CEO himself, makes the titles and tags for you, there are so many uncontrollable factors that listings are affected by. So you have to remember that, and not a single listing representing a single product is going to be your golden goose. You have to have a mechanism and a methodology behind it. And that's what I work on with my students. That's what I teach, is having a methodology that produces you results rather than just hoping. Because Etsy is, you have to be creative at first, but after you're creative, you have to be very mechanical and very, left-brained, if you will. So what do we do about it? We have to run a few tests, and that means duplicate listings of the same product, each with different SEO. And that's a whole nother, strategy in itself, but I just wanted to mention that because you're not going to have a successful Etsy ad unless you're adding continuously to your Etsy ad campaign, adding fuel to the fire. Your ad budget is like a fire. And if you turn ads off without adding new ones, your campaign will never grow and make you money. So I see this in student stores a lot when I come into it with a campaign that isn't doing so hot. If you've started with a certain batch of listings and then you weeded them out and you removed them, but you only have like 5 advertised, but you actually have 100 or 200 listings, but you've been sitting stagnant, that's exactly why. Your Etsy ads campaign is so integral and so paramount, foundational to your success on Etsy. It's so overlooked. A lot of people don't know what they're doing with it, and it's a shame, because even small things like budget changes can totally wreck a store, and I hate to see it happen. But just don't set and forget, and just don't let it stagnate and die. When it comes to your SEO for ads, that's a big thing with this listings. We're testing a lot. We're adding to our campaign, not letting our campaign die, of course. But there's 2 trains of thought, and we'll get to that in a second. But SEO for your Etsy ads specifically matters a lot, because the SEO of your ads matter almost more than your organic listings. Listen, if your ads SEO are bad, then they will be shown to the wrong people. No big deal. Or too broad of a group, resulting in waste of ad spend. Actually, it is a big deal. But organically, you don't really feel it because it just doesn't do much. But with ads, you do feel it because if it's shown to the wrong people and people do actually click, then it's wasting your ad spend. That's what I meant to say. So yes, you should turn off the keywords. And we're going to talk about that. Turning off keywords in the stats of your listings. You should turn off the keywords in your ads if you have the time. Some people don't have the time. That's okay. If you're launching a lot of listings, it's okay not to be like totally hawking on the ads keywords and turning them off all the time. You just want to turn it off if it becomes unprofitable or wastes too much money. But if you do have the time, or if you have a listing right now that is profitable in Etsy ads, go in there and turn those keywords off. They changed the vocabulary of that function often. They changed it recently. It used to say that it's part of a test when you're turning off the keywords in the Etsy ad stats. It used to say that it's part of a test and you're helping them. So it was essentially just a cute little survey that made you feel like you're doing something. But now it says that it does help and it won't show your keyword for that. It won't show your listing for that keyword. But then on that same page, there's a line of text that makes me think otherwise, that it's just helping the experience. So until we have some more definitive language, we're not 100% sure if it really, really turns that keyword off. Just take that with a grain of salt is what I'm saying. One last thing that I want to talk about is the SEO for your ads. You have two trains of thoughts, and one of them will work. And this comes into with what you do with your tests. Throughout all your tests that you're putting into Etsy ads, there are two methods that will work for your ads SEO. Organic too, but you won't know if it matters unless they're on ads because you feel it with your money. So broad, this can get your ads into more search results, but if the product doesn't convert, then it's going to waste ad spend. And that it's a good thing. Sure, it means that your product is getting attention when it's put in front of the right people, but if it's not resulting in sales, then you're going to feel it. But you do have to test broad, because sometimes in front of a broad audience, some products do really well. So you can't go super hyper specific or super, super broad on every single listing. You do have to test, and you can have a mix of them too. I suggest doing a mix on some of your listings. With specific SEO for ads, if the niche and product is in demand enough and the keyword phrases describe it enough perfectly, then it's going to result in laser-focused ad spend, resulting in profitable ads. Now, I want you to mix both of them, because if you have super specific, you're not going to reach the broad people that might buy it. If you're having a piece of wall art and you're only describing it for exactly what it is, like it's some floral art or something, but you're not using any keywords that might put it in front of a broader audience that's just simply trying to decorate their home, they don't care if it's floral, whatever it may be, then you're missing out on those broad keywords. But then if you only go broad, then you're not going to get those specific ones too. So you want to have a mix, and that's how we reached $41,000 of revenue with this ad. With $12,000 of spend and $41,000 of revenue, it was a perfect storm. But it's not something that happens just with one listing. It happens with the methodology, it happens with knowing what you're doing, and it happens with determination too. You have to be diligent and keep working forward towards it and knowing what you're doing. You can't just throw stuff at the wall blindly, not knowing what you're doing. So if you would like help specifically like this to create listings that produce you profitable, predictable money for yourself, for your family, whatever it may be, then definitely book a call in the description below. I'll help you. We'll have a free call. I'll look at your store. We'll figure out if we can work together, and then we'll go from there. And in the meantime, definitely grab the free Etsy Ads cheat sheet in the description below too. It'll give you a starter guide, and it'll give you an opportunity to buy my full ads course. So let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. In the meantime, I hope you have a beautiful day.